Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. We've got Saturday, December the 15th, and that is National Wear Your Pearls Day, National Lemon Cupcake Day, Bill of Rights Day, Cat Herders Day, whatever that is, National Wreaths Across America Day, and Free Shipping Day. Also the 16th, Sunday, National Chocolate Covered Anything Day, and Barbie and Barney Backlash Day. Let's get to some quotes here. Estee Lauder said, "I never dreamt of success. I worked for it." I like that. And then Bill Gates says, "Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning." Very true. A couple of great quotes for today. And we've got a great guest coming up today, Heidi. We're going to talk with Rachel McPherson. She's from the Good Dog Foundation. And we're going to be talking about how a dog can actually help with anxiety for children. There's a study that they've done, and I think it's a really cool study. So, hey, if you're trying to have some points on how to get a dog for Christmas, be listening.
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Nice.
You can thank me later. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix.org.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Heidi, tell me this one. The Boulders in Warrenton, Georgia. The Boulders. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? The Boulders.
I'm going to say golf course.
And you are correct.
Ha!
Golf clap for Heidi. By the way, for those of you who play along at home, do you get it right as much as Heidi does, or do you think she's cheating? Just wondering.
Why would I cheat?
Inquiring minds
There are
want
no
to
prizes.
know. Oh, the prize is you are correct. So there you go. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. Timeforrehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com. And this is your brain on drugs. 2 people are behind bars after allegedly running an illegal dental practice out of a bus in Miami. What? What in the world? Says here they were arrested for practicing health care without a license. Also charged with possession of drugs with intent to sell. So, when you go see your unlicensed dentist and your unlicensed pharmacist all at once.
Wow.
Undercover investigators scheduled an appointment, and they found that they went in to get a dental procedure done. They arrived at the bus, which was parked in a parking lot. And it was parked, they were diagnosed and evaluated with an offer to treat her, the officer. That's when police swooped in and arrested the 2. They were searching the bus. They found bags containing various prescription drugs, including lidocaine, something like that. I don't know, probably not. Ibuprofen and other dental products. They're asking people who may have been treated to come forward. Why would you get treated?
I would. Yeah, you're going to go to a bus and say, "Hey, fix my teeth."
Terrible toothache. Can you guys yank my tooth out in the bus out back? It's a bad idea. That's what happens, though, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Newly divorced Cuba Gooding Jr. was seen partying with a group of bikini-clad blonde women in Miami.
Who cares?
I don't know. Hey, it's a slow news weekend. I mean, come on. How about this one? Arrow actress Kate Cassidy married her fiancé last weekend in Sunset Key, Florida. That was last Sunday.
Don't know who that is.
Well, that's why I read that other story.
It is a slow day.
Every once in a while, I will get, who was the person's name the other day that I read? I deleted the story because I didn't even know if it was a person. I read the thing, and it was like a noun, but they were using that noun like it was a person.
Outcast.
It wasn't that. I know who that is. It's something else. It was like, shameful, did something. I'm like, what? It wasn't. That's not a noun. Whatever it was. I just read it and I laughed because I'm like, I am officially. I
don't even know who this is.
I'm officially so old. I don't even know who I'm talking about anymore. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Luxembourg is set to become the first country in the world to make all of their public transportation free. Now,
that's nice.
It is nice. And here's the thing.
I don't know who's going to pay for that. Taxpayers, probably, so it's not free.
Here's the thing that they should do. I have no problem with this whatsoever. I even see ads on buses all the time. Make the ads on the buses cover the cost of riding on those buses. Wouldn't that just make sense? Where does the money go for the ads on the buses?
Yeah.
So
that would make sense.
That would make a lot more sense.
That would make sense.
And I think what they should do is you could have ads inside the bus for the people who are riding in the bus, and you could have ads inside those buses that would cover the cost of you riding on that bus. Uh-huh. So there you go. I think that's a good idea.
The purpose is for ads to cover the expenses. That's
exactly.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
I understand. Why are you smiling and smirking?
I just think it's ironic a little bit.
Saying that I should sell more ads is what you're saying. This program brought to you by JohnCan'tSellSquat.com. Just kidding. That's not a site. If it is, it's just a coincidence. Moving on. A study by 60 Minutes found that kids who spend more than 2 hours a day on screens, like screen time, they score lower on thinking and language tests. Really?
Yeah, shocker.
I have a couple of nephews that for the first, I don't know, how old are they now? Like 7 and 8, something like that?
I don't even know.
For the first 7 or 8 years of their life, I don't even know what they look like. Every time I see them,
always looking down.
There's an iPad in front of their head. So I'm like, okay, I would actually like to do a family portrait of them with their mom and dad, and then each of them just holding an iPad in front of their face. That's exactly what their family portrait should be. I love them dearly, and when you do
get to talk to them, they're lovely kids. Yeah.
I remember when I pulled the iPad away from. I'm not even going to say their names because it's not. If my sister's listening, she knows.
As if you don't say the names, she's not going to know that you're talking about them.
They're underage. I don't want to put their names on radio. But I moved the iPad away from the older of my nephews, and I gave him a hug, and he goes, "You just killed me." I was like, "I just hugged you. That's all." So he was playing a game, and he wasn't happy with me. A new study found that the average person takes 4 days to stop thinking about work when they're on vacation. You know, the problem with that is the average vacation is less than 4 days.
Yeah.
You go on vacation for the weekend, and you're like, I was thinking of work the whole time. Sometimes you even take work with you.
We always do.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I got so much to do. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just kind of get caught up on some of this stuff. Why did I say that funny? A mugshot. How did I say it? Mugshot. A mugshot has gone viral of an Ohio woman whose entire face is a skeleton tattoo. She was arrested for shoplifting in a Walmart. So, just going to say, she maybe doesn't make the greatest choices. Did you see the image?
Way to blend. If you're going to be a shoplifter, you don't want to go...
Skeleton face tattoo.
That's probably not the best.
If you know the young lady, I'm not trying to make fun of her, but this... And here's the thing: if this were something she was born with, I wouldn't mention it at all. I wouldn't even. I get stories,
she did this on purpose.
I get stories all the time where there's some criminal mugshot where it's a person who they look different and people are making fun of.
Guy with the big neck.
But did we dwell on that and talk about that? I even stood up for the guy. I was saying I think it's bad that people are making fun of him. He can't choose that. But when you choose to have your entire face tattooed, that's a whole different thing. So she kind of has this one. I think it's
I saw that guy with the neck, and then another skinny little white boy with a tall, skinny neck.
Yeah.
They did a little music video thing, All Necks Matter, and the two of them were singing and swinging on swings. And
it was them for real?
It was them together, yeah.
Like in a real video?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. It said it was called All Necks Matter.
Oh, boy. And on that note... I don't know where to go from there, so this has been today's Scoop of the Day.
Are you trying to find the perfect gift for someone with a good sense of humor? FunkyMonkeyShirts.com has a good selection of funny t-shirts and more, some with Christmas themes. one that even replaces the ugly Christmas sweater for your next party. Find some silly shirts at funkymonkeyshirts.com. Also, learn how you can sell your own designs to make some extra Christmas cash. There's a link at the bottom of the page at funkymonkeyshirts.com. funkymonkeyshirts.com. That's funkymonkeyshirts.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We have Rachel McPherson joining us today to talk about a new study that just recently came out that shows that dogs help children recover from stress. Rachel, how are you?
I'm just doing fine. Thank you so much for having me on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We appreciate you joining us. And my wife and I are both dog lovers. We got a couple of puppies, so I was super excited to hear the study says that dogs help children and don't hurt them. That's good. But let's talk about this study and why was this study even done? Where did this come from?
This study was done at Yale University in the Department of Psychology at Yale. The author of the study was Molly Crossman, who is a PhD candidate at Yale.
And I see that you're with an organization called Good Dog Foundation, one of the board directors there, or the founder and president, rather, there. Let's talk about the Good Dog Foundation and what you guys do.
Yes, I am the president founder of the Good Dog Foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit which was founded in 1998. And we train and certify therapy dogs to go into educational facilities and hospital facilities.
So when this study came along, you guys probably were not too surprised because you see this happen day in and day out, don't you?
Absolutely. We see this day in and day out. And the Good Dog Foundation is involved with the study, and we actually established the study protocols that elucidated the treatment effects of dogs while prioritizing both human and dog safety and welfare. So we were very, very involved actively with Yale creating this study.
So now how long has your organization, the Good Dog Foundation, how long have you guys been around?
This is our 20th anniversary year, and we're very focused on scientific research, and also we do rigorous training of the dogs to certify them for therapy work.
Now, are there specific dogs that are better at this, or is kind of any dog good at something like this?
Any dog is really great at this. We have lots of dogs that have been rescued, and it really evolves around the dog's temperament.
And I think that's really neat when you can have a rescue dog that can also help someone else. So now you're rescuing the dog, but the dog is kind of rescuing you too, really.
Yeah, it's really a wonderful story when we see therapy dogs that are rescue dogs and they're out helping others. And, you know, the volunteer has rescued the dog. So it makes a wonderful outcome for that dog's life.
That is really cool. And we know of an organization that does a lot of work with therapy dogs to work with veterans and first responders, and I think that is a really cool thing. Now, your organization and this study kind of talks more about how therapy dogs help children, doesn't it?
Yes, the study is completely focused on how therapy dogs help children, and it improves the children's mood and ability to cope with anxiety. And also they can do a therapeutic intervention for stress recovery, the dogs.
That's really cool. So if there's somebody listening that's been trying to make the case as why we should get a dog, we've got a link to the press release. I think this would probably help, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely would help, and especially with their children at home.
Well, I appreciate all that you do. Thank you so much for the last 20 years, doing amazing work to help show that this a study like this and all the work that you've done to show that this is a very meaningful thing. And I appreciate all the time that you've spent with us here as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on. We really appreciate being able to talk about the study today and about the Good Dog Foundation. We also do crisis response work.
Now, what does that entail?
Well, we have responded to the nation's major disasters like 9/11, all the hurricanes, the Boston bombings. So we train the dogs especially for crisis response work.
Well, that's really cool. I'm going to throw a link in our show notes to this study, but also I'll throw a link in there to your information as well, Rachel. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
Oh, thank you so much. I look forward to chatting again, hopefully soon.
Again, Rachel McPherson. She is the founder and president of the Good Dog Foundation, and I'm going to throw a link to all of their information and a link right to this study. So somebody that's trying to make the case for why we need a puppy for Christmas, hey, this might help. All the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you put Viagra in a vase and then put flowers in it, it will make the flowers stand straight up for a week beyond when they should normally.
That's awesome.
And for more,
that
on
would
the
be
little
very
blue pill-
expensive flowers, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I've never done that. But I guess they have like substitutes out there too, so like generic versions. But they say that'll help make the flowers stand up straight longer than they usually do. So that definitely was a very fun fact.
FreshPatch.com is making dogs like me happy. They send out real grass pads for us to use indoors. Now when it's cold outside, I can go inside. And when I've used up the real grass patch, the mailman brings me a new Fresh Patch. It's the best idea since doggy treats. Convince your mommy to try it today. I suggest you try Puppy Dog Eyes. FreshPatch.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO.
Time now for today's grandiloquent word. Today's word is aglift. A-G-L-I-F-F-T. Aglift. What do you think aglift means, Heidi?
I don't know, John. What does it mean?
I'm glad you asked. It says aglift. Frightened or alarmed. That is the word. Now look at they always do a little, what do you call this? Illustration,
yes.
Like a drawing. Grandiloquent word of the day on their Facebook page. I have a link to it in our show notes, but they always put a little illustration. And this one is weird. There's like a kid sliding down the banister falling off, so he's a glift. But there's also, I think that's a cat, or is that a squirrel?
It looks like it's a, well, why would there be a squirrel by his banister?
I have no idea. I think it's a cat that's jumping. I believe the cat is also a glift. And they're both also aloft. They're both in the air and scared, so I don't know. It's a weird illustration today. But thank you so much to the people at Grandiloquent Word, for giving us this bizarre word each and every day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Want to honor a veteran? Consider giving to Veterans Tickets Foundation, a national nonprofit who supports our currently serving military, veterans, and family members of those we've lost in action by providing them with free tickets to sporting events, concerts, performing arts, and family activities. VetTix is dedicated to giving back to those who gave us so much. Learn how you can help at vettix.org. VetTix.org.
Time now for some weird news this weekend, and our weird news is brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A driver in England was caught speeding because he didn't want his McDonald's meal to get cold. That's not a good reason. It says after his car details were checked out by police, it was discovered the Volkswagen Golf he was driving was uninsured. A spokesperson for South Yorkshire Police said, "It's been a positive night shift on the beat. This vehicle's driver decided to overtake our officers in an unmarked vehicle at excessive speeds, putting everyone's life at risk." He added, all because he didn't want his McDonald's to go cold. Just so happened the vehicle was not insured. It is not safe for the driver who wasn't loving it. So, there you go.
Jeez.
It is a very bizarre story. Have a better excuse than that. Why were you going so fast? Wonder want my McDonald's to get cold. Oh, okay. Well, you should probably just hit the road then. Probably not. This has been today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. The self-described world dumbest criminal pled guilty to stealing a lawnmower and a weed trimmer from a Walmart in Florida. 46-year-old Michael Tabor signed a plea agreement copping to grand theft charges during an appearance in circuit court. He was arrested in late April when he wheeled a shopping cart out of a Walmart without paying for a $258 snapper lawnmower and a $148 Murrayed weed trimmer. After driving away with the stolen goods, he was pulled over and arrested by a sheriff's deputy. He told the cops he planned to pawn the items, adding that, quote, pain makes you do stupid things, end quote. He claimed that he needed to shoplift in order to get his medications. Deputy reported that Mr. Tabor said he was, quote, the world's dumbest criminal. So I feel bad for the guy But you still don't do that.
You don't do that.
There's
But
another
yeah.
answer, and the answer is not stealing things. I mean, that's a bad plan. Do something positive, and then you could pay for those medications. But again, sad story, and it's today's Moment of Duh.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story that happened in the great state of Florida, or is it made up just to amuse me and trick you? Tell me, what do you think of this one? Fake news or Florida? Pensacola motorcycle cop was charged with indecent exposure and public intoxication after he rode home from happy hour with no pants on. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say Florida.
Well, you are wrong, and wrong can be. I have more faith in the police officers in Florida, and thank goodness this is a fake story. So, but it would be funny. Either way, we have some good news to get to, and that is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and our good news comes your way courtesy of WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Have you seen any of these weird gifts, by the way?
I saw a couple of them that showed up on my news feed.
There are so many. I'm going to look because I actually made a list of some of these because there's one that's like edible crickets. Ugh. That does not. I don't think that's
like chocolate covered crickets.
I don't know. Something that's one of the things for this weekend. And a toilet mask. What?
What's a toilet mask?
It's a mask that you wear on the toilet. I have no idea.
That you wear on the toilet?
I don't know. I just wrote toilet mask. I didn't put all the details here. And then the one from Friday. Or from Thursday, maybe it was. I don't know what day it was. It was a unicorn squirrel feeder. I thought that was really kind of funny. It's like a unicorn head that squirrels put their head in there to eat.
I've seen those. It looks like that's their head.
Yeah.
I saw somebody did that with a scream mask, and it cracked me up. There was a video of the squirrel, and he sticks his head up there, and as he's moving around, it looks like there's a squirrel with a scream mask looking in their window.
It is bizarre. Well,
that's so funny.
I wanted to share that because that kind of leads to this. One cat's obsession with hunting birds leads to an invention that has saved hundreds of thousands. How cool is this? So it says here, cats kill birds, a staggering number of birds in the U.S. every year, estimated to be in the billions. But one feline's affinity for hunting inadvertently led to a salvation of hundreds of thousands of other feathered prey. In 2008, Nancy Brennan was sick and tired of her cat George bringing dead birds into her home. Not only was it distasteful to find dead birds laying around the house, but she's like, it's also kind of heartbreaking. I love birds. So the first catch one spring was a grouse. Let's move down to what he says. She pondered how to curb George's hunting habits. As weeks went on, there's a lot to this story.
I guess so.
So she's got this thing called the Birds Be Safe, crafted 500 colorful collars to sell online to fellow cat lovers. What it does is actually it helps, like the cat blends in and can sneak up on the birds. With this collar, they're not blending in. Okay. So it helps distract the bird, or not distract them, but make the bird aware. And she did a 12-week study conducted in spring and in fall, and killed 19 times fewer birds with
Does it also have maybe a scent to it that the birds can...
I don't know.
There would have to be something more to it than a color, I would think.
I have a link to all the details if you want to read all about it. I just thought it was kind of neat, and it made me think, as soon as I was looking at it, it made me think of that squirrel bird feeder thing.
Yeah, funny.
Or squirrel feeder, whatever it was. It's all.
I want one of those, by the way. Not necessarily the unicorn, but I want something like that.
I'll put it on my Christmas list. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.